Honourable Senators, my question is for the Leader of the Government in the Senate. Senator Harder, people in my province of Saskatchewan are angry about your government's unfair tax changes. Especially alarming is the devastating effect this scheme will have on Canadian farmers. Several hardworking Saskatchewan farmers, people like Megs Reynolds and Brett McBride, have had to turn to social media to voice their concerns about what these changes will mean for their family farms. It was no accident that the Trudeau government has chosen to hold very brief consultations on these complicated tax measures during harvest, the busiest season of the year for Canadian farmers. This whole scheme displays the Trudeau government's fundamental misunderstanding of Canadian agriculture. Family farms depend on the contribution of all family members. Even young kids are responsible for chores. Older children drive trucks and tractors, and the adults work from dawn until dusk, and often beyond that, to contribute to the success of their family farm operation. Their labor feeds you, it feeds me, it feeds the world. And yet the Trudeau government's tax scheme would ultimately penalize these family contributions. Accountant Peter Wiseman says these tax changes will produce terrible collateral damage for family farms and other family businesses. Shockingly, it will be easier and less costly for farmers to sell their farms, their family's legacy, to a stranger, taxed at 25%, than to their own children, which this Liberal government would tax at 45%. The Trudeau government is introducing these unfair tax changes because they are broke. They have a massive spending problem. They brag about an $18 billion deficit. The very people this Trudeau government constantly claims to help, the middle class and those working hard to join it, will be hurt most severely by this scheme. Prime Minister Trudeau claims these changes are simply a tweak that will only affect the wealthiest Canadians, the 1%. Canada's farmers are not the 1%. And does the Trudeau government actually consider it a tweak to charge Canada's farm families a dramatically higher tax rate to transfer their legacy farms to a stranger than to their own children?
Again, I thank the Honourable Senator for her question. The consultation process that is still underway is one in which there have been a number of concerns or situations raised. The ministers and others have responded to the facts as they understand them to be. The consultation process, I hope, can be extended to including the Senate of Canada, where the concerns of the Honourable Senator can be addressed and informed, so that we can all, I hope, stand together and say we are supportive of tax fairness, that taxpayers ought to be confident that the system that we have in place is one that ensures appropriate and fairness across the income levels and corporate structures or not corporate structures in Canada.